You finally hit the number you've been chasing. Maybe it's $20,000 months. Maybe the 50. Maybe more. And instead of feeling secure, you feel alert. You're checking dashboards more often. You're mentally calculating what happens if two clients pause at the same time. You're thinking about next quarter before this one even closes. That reaction surprises you, because you assumed more income would feel like safety. But high income doesn't automatically create stability. It can actually increase pressure. I remember the first time I crossed into income that once felt impossible. For years, I thought that level would mean freedom, that I'd finally relax. And for a few days, I did. Then, something shifted. Instead of thinking, I made it, I started thinking, can I sustain this? That question never showed up when income was lower. When you're building from scratch, you expect instability. But when income rises and you still feel unstable, that's disorienting. The number went up. The tension didn't go away. That's when I realized something uncomfortable. Income and stability are not the same system. When income increases, your world often expands around it. You upgrade tools. You hire faster. You increase burn rate. You move into a nicer place. You commit to subscriptions, payroll, better environments. Nothing wrong with that. But most people scale their commitments at the same speed as their income. And when commitments grow at the same rate as revenue, fragility stays constant. It just gets more expensive. If missing one strong month would stress you out, you're still exposed even at high income. That's not pessimism, that's math. I've seen founders earning more than they ever have who still can't take 2 weeks off without worrying. I've seen people with impressive revenue who feel trapped by it. They're scared to slow down because the machine reacts immediately. From the outside, it looks like success. Inside, it feels like maintenance. Dependency hides behind high income. Dependency on one platform. Dependency on one marketing channel. Dependency on personal output. Dependency on a small number of high-paying clients. And here's the part no one talks about. High income can increase emotional fragility, because now you have more to lose. When you're earning modestly, a 20% drop is uncomfortable. When you're earning at scale, a 20% drop can feel threatening not because you can't survive, but because your life has recalibrated around that higher baseline. I remember noticing that my stress wasn't coming from low income anymore. It was coming from the idea of regression, the fear of going backwards. That fear is subtle, but it drives a lot of decision-making. You start overcommitting to prevent dips. You say yes to things you shouldn't. You keep pushing because you don't want the graph to turn downward. That's not stability. That's pressure disguised as success. High income without margin is just high-speed pressure. Margin is what reduces fragility. Margin in savings that doesn't get touched. Margin in income streams so one source doesn't control everything. Margin in lifestyle so your expenses don't expand to the ceiling. Margin in time so your business doesn't collapse when you pause. When margin exists, income fluctuations feel manageable. When margin is thin, even small dips feel loud. I had to confront something uncomfortable at one point. My revenue looked strong. But if 3 specific clients left, the picture changed dramatically. That concentration risk was invisible to outsiders. But I knew it. And knowing it kept me alert. So instead of chasing even higher revenue, I started asking a different question. Where is this income fragile? Not how do I grow faster, but what would hurt the most if it changed? That question shifted everything. I diversified income sources. I reduced dependence on one acquisition channel. I resisted the urge to inflate lifestyle every time revenue rose. I built buffer instead of expanding burn. None of that felt exciting. It felt disciplined. But discipline is what converts income into stability. There's also a deeper psychological layer here. When you earn more, you assume you've made it. And when you assume you've made it, you stop examining risk carefully. You think higher income equals safety? But safety isn't about size. It's about absorption. Can your financial structure absorb a shock without panic? If the answer is no, income hasn't turned into stability yet. It's still momentum. Momentum feels strong, but it requires constant feeding. I remember the first time I realized I could have a slower month and not react emotionally. That was new, not because income was higher, but because margin existed, because diversification existed, because my lifestyle hadn't expanded to the ceiling, because I wasn't dependent on one source. That calm felt different from excitement. Excitement is loud. Calm is quiet. And calm is a better indicator of stability than revenue ever will be. The goal isn't impressive income. It's income that makes you hard to destabilize. That's the shift most people miss. They chase bigger months instead of building stronger foundations. They increase output instead of reducing dependency. They celebrate growth without checking concentration risk. High income can absolutely coexist with fragility. In fact, sometimes it amplifies it. Because the higher you climb without reinforcement, the more dramatic a fall feels. Real stability shows up differently. It shows up when you can say no without fear. When you can take a month to think strategically. When one client leaving doesn't shake your life. When a platform change doesn't threaten your survival. That's when income has started converting into durability. Until then, high income might feel powerful, but it will still feel tense. And tension is the clue. Not that you need to earn more, but that you need to build underneath what you're already earning. Because fragility isn't defined by how much comes in. It's defined by how much pressure your system can absorb without cracking. And that's a completely different metric than revenue.